Hello, this is Melonia, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about doxing. For anyone who has been hiding under a rock, this seems to be the word that folks like to throw around on YouTube. So I just wanted to talk about it and talk about what doxing actually is, what the definition is. Is it illegal? Is it not illegal? Can you be arrested? Can you be sued? Recently, well, not recently, it's been going on for many months now. We've seen the feud between BX Beast Boy and the Glare, which I subscribe to both, actually like both, and I listen to both of them. Doesn't mean I 100% agree with both of them, but I do like to listen to them. Also, have listened to some other creators and was hiding in the bushes a while back with the feud between KM. We're just going to use initials for her because she doesn't have her channel up anymore, and she's had several channels, and Crime Stalker, and there was others that were involved in this too. It's just a long list that really we don't really even need to talk about them individually, but there was some recent things happen between them that I feel like need to be addressed as well. So the Glare has came out and called BX Beast Boy a doxer. He said he's a doxer. And on another live stream, BX Beast Boy said, okay, when did I dox you? When did I dox anyone? And the glare refers back to a live stream that someone had that BX Beast Boy was on there. And all he said was, if anyone has any information on the glare, send it to me. Because if you don't watch BX Beast Boy, then you probably wouldn't understand. But basically, his videos are really about others, what he called nastiness. Some of them I completely agree with. There are some nasty folks out here on YouTube, but he just exposes them for who they are, kind of like what I like to do. But mine's more of I want to expose you so people know what type of person you are. That doesn't necessarily mean your personal information, but just who you are and why, maybe some new subscribers or future subscribers might want to pay attention and not get in the middle of the craziness. But did BX Beast Boy dox the glare? He did not. And I'm going to show you the facts and what doxing actually means. Now, did KM dox Crime Stalker? I'm going to have to say yes. And I used to watch KM, and I liked her for the most part, but that doesn't mean I like everybody's actions. And when you start getting personal and you start going down this dark path of maliciously attacking people in their personal life, then there's a problem. So I am going to show you guys what I'm talking about here as far as doxing goes. And I'm going to pull up a screen here. What is doxing? We're going to talk about this. So what is doxing? And is it illegal in Frisco, Texas? Starting with Texas first because, KM was from Texas and That's the first one that popped up. So we're going to talk about this. And it kind of gives a really good detail about what doxing is. So doxing is when a person gathers and publishes an individual's personal information online without permission. The term originates from the phrase dropping documents. Examples of information that may be shared include an individual's home address, email address, telephone number, place of employment, etc. The purpose of doxing is usually intimidation, humiliation, or retaliation. It can put the subject at risk of violence or injury from a large online audience. Anyone can be a victim of doxing, from the ordinary individuals to celebrities and political figures. For example, in August of 2019, a University of Texas student group called the Autonomous Student Network threatened incoming freshmen that it would post their public information, including phone numbers and email addresses, if they joined a conservative club on campus. Is doxing illegal under Texas state law? And mind you, this goes with a lot of states. It's not just the state of Texas, but I'm using this as an example because I did pull up a few other states and they follow the same guidelines as this. So in most cases, it is technically not against Texas likes to post someone's publicly available personal information in Frisco. But there are circumstances where doxing crosses the line into illegality. So basically, if you target police officers, public officials, it is a federal crime to target healthcare workers. So if someone is a nurse and you provide their information online, now listen, a healthcare employee, and this is going to go back to someone else or someone who has provided a nurse's information online out of retaliation. You can't do that. That is a federal crime. So anyway, targeting police officers, a juror that's on this, supposed to be on a trial. It can be a witness. So be really careful who you so-called retaliate against online. Even if that person did something to you, going back and doing it to that person does not make it right. So some of you folks really need to watch yourself. Cyberbullying is when a person uses any electronic communication to engage in bullying or intimidation. It was criminalized in 2017 under David's Law. Cyberbullying is a Class B misdemeanor. It can be bumped up to a Class A misdemeanor if the defendant has previous convictions of cyberbullying or if the victim was under 18 years old and the defendant targeted the victim with the intent to make the victim commit suicide or hurt themselves. Harassment. An individual can be charged with harassment under Texas Penal Code Section 4207 when he or she intentionally communicates an obscene proposal, threatens, conveys a false report, or makes a call or sends a message designed to harass, annoy, alarm, embarrass, or torment. So basically, what we're talking about here is, yes, doxing can be considered a federal offense if it is displayed to a certain group of people. However, for an individual who is not one of those groups, then we've got these other penal code sections that it can fall under. So we've got stalking. Stalking is when an individual knowingly engages in a pattern of behavior that someone else would find threatening and that would cause a reasonable person to be afraid. See a lot of you people doing some of this stuff on YouTube. Y'all need to watch yourself. Is doxing illegal under federal law? As with Texas law, there's no single federal law that makes doxing illegal. However, there are several charges that an individual could face if they engage in doxing, depending on the circumstance. So, we're going to protect individuals performing certain official duties. Healthcare workers, I want you people to listen to me. A nurse is a healthcare worker, and I'm going to show you where that is part of one of those groups. So is a police officer. But I'm going to lay out these groups for you. And for those of you who have watched some of these videos and have stood by and watched some of these people play out their doxing, it gets ugly. Now, just saying someone's name, that's not doxing. But when you put someone's information out there, like someone did the other day, that is doxing. And that is with malicious intent to harass someone. You could cause harm to that person by providing this information and encouraging others to go after that person, whether it be call their employer or actually have them, even calling them on their home phone. You have provided information for someone to go and harass them. That is what doxing is. It's not finding stuff on YouTube that they've done previously to show how quote unquote nasty they are. That's not doxing. So, are you stalking them? Are you harassing them? Most likely, that's where it's going to fall under. So no, it may not be illegal to quote unquote dox someone, but it is illegal to go after someone with malicious intent. Now let's jump over here to Reed's Law Group. I think this is going to talk about Ohio. I believe this is Ohio. That talks about doxing, in essence, is publishing private information about a person, such as their home address, employment location, cell phone numbers, etc., usually out of sense of revenge or social justice. Again, it comes from dox, dropping dox, compiling and releasing personal information on someone. Usually, doxing is done so that the target suffers negative consequences ranging from public shame or being fired from a job to suffering a physical attack from an angry member of public. Now, we all know that CK goes after people all the time. She does that, and she wants her flying monkeys to call people's jobs. There's other people that have called people's jobs. And I'm sorry, but as much as the creator of Crime Stalker may have shown of someone or have shown public records or whatever in retaliation or to show the truth, she has not publicly gone on a live such as some other creators and said, let's call their work. Everybody call this number, call their work. Let's call every place in this specific state that deals with this to see if this person works there. You are looking for them. You're looking for their job to post it out of malicious intent. and you are trying to publicly shame them, or you are going to get them fired from their job. You can be sued. You can go to jail and a fine. And the more times that it's against you, so if you are one person that's doing this to several people, this is one thing after another. And after so many misdemeanors, it becomes a felony. Why do you people not get this? Why do y'all continue to do this on YouTube? Just because you sit behind an avatar or what have you does not mean that you can do that. So I'm going to stop sharing. That's just ridiculous. Hey, I didn't really know if anybody's in here. I usually talk to myself and then just put this on here later, but let's see. Please tell me how CK can possibly still be talking with a 10 million lawsuit hanging over her head. I mean, is she crazy or just really stupid? She just can't stop talking. You said it. She is crazy and stupid because she can't stop talking. There is so much out there about her. I have over 133 screenshots from her telling people to go and find this person. Give me this information. On Kiwi Farms, she's asking them, find this information on this person. I want to know. One of her ex-mods, she's contacted her father, asking for information, asking for her mother's phone number, asking for addresses. She has called people's employers. So has other creators. I have heard this with my own ears. For over a year, I have sat back and not said anything. Barely chatted. Of course, it wasn't under Crazy House Saloon or Melonia, but needless to say, I barely ever chatted anyway. But I listened and I listened, and it is disgusting. And people need to stop. Until you guys are held accountable for it, I don't think it's going to stop, but somebody's going to get hurt. And you have to take ownership in that. And just because you go on a live and you spew all this and then delete your video or private your channel or delete your channel doesn't mean it did not happen. People can screen record. The internet is forever. I showed that in my previous video about CK, about the horrible things she was saying online about the Jodi Arias case. It's disgusting. But the internet is forever. And just because you delete it does not mean it goes away. And doxing is not what you think doxing is. Okay? No, the term doxing may not be illegal, but there are other things that fall underneath it. And if you are an officer or employee of the United States or of an agency in any branch of the United States government, including any member of the uniformed services, if you're a juror, witness, or other officer in or of any court, if you're an informant or a witness in a federal criminal investigation or prosecution, state or local employee, state or local officer or employee whose restricted personal information is made publicly available because of the participation in or assistance provided to a federal criminal investigation by an officer or an employee. So if you don't fall under that, no, you may, the federal law does not criminalize what's happening to you as far as doxing, but there is federal law against stalking and harassing that you fall under. Thank you so much, Cool Story. I appreciate you. And I am going to, even if I talk to myself, but I'm recording, so it will be on later. And I do know it's Sunday night. It's a little late, but I'm going to keep doing them. I'm going to keep saying what I have to say because eventually somebody's going to listen. If you were to dox me, so to speak, quotations, just know that you would be committing a federal offense. How many people do you know that you're doing this to online would fall under that group? You don't know. Yes, she should be charged for victim bashing. But she's stalking and she's harassing and she's putting out false information. So that to me falls under all these other crimes, but someone has to go after her. And I think Ray Andracchio is doing great. And I hope she doesn't back down because I really, 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 really think that if more people stand up to people like this, then maybe we'd start seeing a change. But you don't know who is behind that camera or behind this avatar. You don't know who that person is. And you don't know when you start seeking their information and putting it out there, whether it's in your Discord or whether it's in your Patreon or your private groups. You don't know when that's going to be leaked out. And when that is, if that person behind that screen name or what have you is someone that is going to go after you, then you might want to be scared. I sure hope not, Cool Story. I really, really, really hope that um I just it makes me sick because I feel like there's so many people in this world that get a free pass all the time. They always get free passes. And I makes me sick. No, and I knew she was doing that. The charging for autopsy pictures, that is disgusting. That is gross. I don't care if they were public. They're not yours to charge for. That's another issue. Even if they were public, you can't charge for that. You're charging for documents that do not belong to you. It is disgusting. I was going to see if I can. Oh, I know, but I haven't went back and looked, but I'd heard that she put back up her video about um, the Andracchio case that she covered. I'm gonna see if I can pin this. I don't know how to pin things yet. I did it the other day, but it won't show. What really means when she looked in the camera and said, "I'm coming for you, Ray." Oh yeah, she told her she was coming for her, and you never met a MFer like me, and it was gross. It was really gross. I'm trying to. She's she's gross. I don't. I was trying to figure out. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to go and come and talk to someone who's calling me out. And I mean, why would you? Why? Why would you go? Why would you go on somebody who like CK's live and and talk to them? It's just stupid. Her 18-hour monologues. Yeah, her 18-hour monologues that's plagiarized. It's funny because I showed where she actually plagiarized. She said, I wrote this. And we all know that she didn't write that. We know she didn't. She didn't write it. And she just read off articles. All she had to say was, this is the article I'm going to read to you, and this is a piece of this is a piece of that. And she didn't do that. All she did was go on there and read it and took credit for it. And I made a video about it, and I showed every piece that she pulled word for word. And now, but she hasn't said it was a monologue, but in her video she'll say, oh, and this article was published on this day by this person. She never has done that before. It's all about the money for her. That is so true. It views and clicks, yep. And I don't get it. I don't get it. What makes you what makes a logical person think it's okay to victim bash? Not only that, but just to say horrible, ugly things about somebody. Just and thank you. When they turn on her, they show all the nastiness that she says. Everything. It makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me at all. And it's gross. It's just gross. I mean, I'm always like, who does that? Who does that? Like, ugh. It's gross. It's just nasty. And, I didn't want to make all my content about CK on my videos, but it's like she gives so much. Why does she give us so much? She gives us so much to work with. It's like, just stop. I don't. I was gonna pin this. I don't know how to work StreamYard. Obviously, I almost put myself in timeout. Oh yes, yes. Wouldn't you want me to protect your children? No, no. I promise you, if something happens to my children, please do not. Please, 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 please do not do that. Do not. Do not give. And you know what? Why doesn't she ever think? This is what I don't get. People think things can never happen to them. Does she ever think that something couldn't happen to one of her children? I mean, because horrible crimes happen to people all the time, and we never would think they would happen to us or our family. What if something horrible happened to someone in her family and someone came on YouTube and did what she's doing to other people, but do it to her? I mean, empathy is I've heard her say she's an empathetic person. She has empathy. No, she does not, because empathy is when you put yourself in someone else's shoes. How would I feel if this happened to me? Yep. Yeah, that was. I was just like, are you serious? You're going to say, wouldn't you want me to be the voice for your children? Wouldn't you want me to do that? Hell no. Hell no, bitch. I do not want you to be the voice for my children. My children are grown, but still. I bet her kids don't even want her to be the voice for them. I mean, if my mother, yes, no, you're completely right. And I don't want to drag her family into it either. I'm just saying you have to put yourself in someone else's shoes. So if something were to happen to your family, would you want someone doing that or doing what you're doing to them? Yeah, I have screenshots of that as well. I have screenshots of that as well. And I did it would I would have like a 3-day, 8-hour live each day if I went through everything that I actually do have. And I don't want to do that. And I don't want to throw her family into it, but she inserts herself into other people's families. So she has to at some point think, well, wouldn't let me make sure my ass is clean before I start talking about yours. I just don't get it. Quit inserting yourself into other people's families if you don't want people to bring up your family. And this is YouTube. It's not supposed to be about your family. If you're speaking true crime, you're supposed to speak on the case. You're not supposed to be inserting yourself into the case. And that's what she does. She inserts herself into the case. She will say and do whatever she has to put herself into that case, to get the interviews, to get the views, to get the money that she needs. That's what she does. And if that means she's going to go on there and talk crap about people and bring their family down, then that's what she's going to do. So, and just because you're speaking on a case, so you're reporting a case, whether you're a reporter, whether you're on YouTube reporting a case, that does not mean that you get to still, quote unquote, dox the family, give their personal and private information so that others will go after them. You can't do that. It still falls under harassment, stalking. People can come after you. And I don't get it. Why don't people realize this? Do they think just because they're, on YouTube reporting a case? And I don't get it. Yes, she has. Yep. Yep. And she keeps on. And she keeps on. And she says she's not going to let down. So at some point, she thinks that they're just this is going to go away because it's under the First Amendment right. And it's not. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think she's actually from up north somewhere, but it doesn't matter really because, yeah, I mean, you still have to pay attorney fees and travel expenses because I think Ray is in Mississippi. I believe that's where the Androcchio case is from, is Mississippi. And so she's going to have to go to Mississippi for that. But yeah, she's going to have to still pay the lawyer, the attorney fees, and the court costs, the travel expenses. Either way, even they could still go after her for the misdemeanor charges, and each time that's one charge. So after so long, after so many misdemeanors, so say it's a class B and then it goes to class A, and then after so many misdemeanors, it goes to a felony. Exactly. No, no, a true creator does not do that. A true creator, I mean, I guess some people have teams. I guess if it's a huge production of something, but the flying monkeys and the private chats, that's all about defaming someone and hurting someone, and that's defaming or hurting anyone that gets in her way. I mean, she pull, and the problem is she uses her flying monkeys to do certain things so it doesn't actually fall back on her. For instance, they found the username and password to Shanann Watts' Twitter and got into it, read all her stuff, read her messages, even posted a petition for people to leave CK alone on Shanann Watts' Twitter page. And then the horrible picture of Shanann Watts' brother that they have, she was pressuring them to actually post that on Shanann's Twitter page. So as if Shanann posted it, which is a dead woman. Oh, I know. Yeah, that is disgusting. And she was going to go contact someone's apartment complex to find out if they lived at the apartment complex and the apartment number by acting like they're going to repossess the vehicle. So they thought, well, let's call and act like I'm going to do that. Yes, misdemeanor. After so many misdemeanors of the same offense, it will eventually lead to a felony. In a lot of states, I mean, I don't know Mississippi, but I know in a lot of states it does, because it's a continuous offense of the same crime. So if you continue to get a speeding ticket for speeding over, you're speeding, after so long, it does become a certain type of offense. And after so many misdemeanors of the same offense, it does become a felony. Yes, the Twitter. I'm still blown away about the Twitter thing, and I didn't uncover that. I mean, the person who she was using to do that went on someone else's channel and said yes. And I did go in there, and she did apologize for it. And she said that she changed the password. She said, I don't even remember the password anymore. But there are screenshots where she continued over and over and over to harass her. And she is after this girl so bad. I mean, emailing her dad, calling all these people, and she even did a fund to shut this certain person up. It's Shut Blank Up Fund. So basically, she's wanting to raise money through her group so that she could get, to shut her up. How are you going to shut her up? She didn't. All she's doing is telling the truth of what you have asked her to do. Oh, I didn't know if she deleted her Twitter or not, because I don't really get on Twitter very much. I mean, I have one, but I don't get on there a whole lot. I don't really get on Facebook much, but I knew she was harassing Ray on all platforms, and for the sake of everyone, I just hope that something comes of this. I mean, an example. I mean, someone, was it last night or the night before last, was reading personal information online about another creator. I mean, maybe it wasn't 100% accurate at the time of where she's at now, but she was still, I mean, given employer information. I mean, just all this stuff. And I'm like, what the heck? What is wrong with people? Yeah, I agree. She's pretty low. I honestly have never encountered anyone in my life like this. I never. And I've never conversated with her. I've never gone on her panel. I'm just a subscriber that used to sit back and listen to her, and things went really twisted and weird, and the more I thought about it, I thought I was yelling. I was yelling in my own home at my computer screen or my iPad while I was listening to her. And then I literally had to stop because I'm like, I'm yelling at this person like she can hear me and she can't. Nope, I never did go on her panel. I never chatted, never any of that, because there's no point. really, honestly. You could see what she was doing to everyone who disagreed with her or who challenged her. And it was sad. It was sad for them. There's been people on there that have cried. I felt horrible. I'm like, why do y'all put yourself on there? Why do you do that? Makes no sense. You know, oh, yeah, yeah. Honestly, I don't think, I mean, from the outside looking in, I don't think he really agrees with her. I think he just does it for attention. I think he does it because she flirts with him. I think they have a lot of private conversations that a lot of people do not see. And he is very arrogant. And, some things that come out of his mouth, I'm like, this is probably a really intelligent person that has lowered his intelligence. He has lowered it so much to be in line with someone, and she has talked him up to be arrogant. I think he was probably the boy who sat back in the back of the class that having friends, and she has talked him up. She's talked him up, but of course, I think she was the bully in school that didn't have any friends either. Yeah, she is, and I don't listen to her anymore. I hear, clips and stuff from other people. I can't listen to her because if I do, I yell because I'm like, you are such a liar. Why are you twisting things? You have totally. I mean, um, even one of the newest cases of the missing little girl, she has done everything that she could to make it look like the family and the dad is involved, and he may or may not be. There's no evidence of that right now, but she has already painted that picture and put that, um, planted that seed. So we're going to talk about it more and more, that this father, because of the way he was talking on TV, and his house is probably dirty, and the way they live and where they're from. So we've already painted this picture about how horrible these people probably are. So they probably did something to their child. I'm not saying they did or didn't, but it's 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 not okay. I haven't listened to him, but that doesn't surprise me. That's what they do. You don't want to be my friend anymore. I'm not gonna be your friend. I'm gonna talk about you on YouTube. Oh my god! It's like, how old are you people? Yeah, I don't. You're not my friend. I'm not your friend. This is freaking crazy. Like they really need. Dr. Phil talks about this one place, and I don't know where it's at. For some reason, I want to say Texas, where they go in and they examine your whole entire head, um, to find out what's wrong with you, and it could be something to do with your brain, to cause you to have these mental issues. And I'm like, man, that should just be. Everybody needs to go get their head scanned. Go get your cat scanned because your cat is messed up. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, she is hateful, and I feel bad for people when I was listening, because some of these people, they just, especially during the pandemic, they had nothing. A lot of these people are lonely in their home. Maybe they don't have any friends. They're watching YouTube. They see people get up here, and then they'll have a panel. They'll have 5 or 6 people on there, and they'll have 50, 60 to 300 people in their chat, and they're like, oh, that's cool. It's almost like when the internet first came out, and then Yahoo came out, and then you had the Yahoo, um, chats, and everybody kind of flung to those chats and you were in chat rooms all the time and it was cool. You could talk to people from all over the world. And that's kind of like I feel like YouTube is right now. It's people are getting to talk to people from all around the world and you're getting to have one-on-one conversations and you can have live streams. You can talk to them in real life. But when you're hurting someone and these people get on there because they're lonely and they want to chat or they want to talk about these certain current events that are going on, and then they get criticized for their own opinions. He had a tantrum. That doesn't surprise me. he, he, he was probably breastfed for a very long time. Poor guy. He don't have any friends. I mean, come on. If your best friend's critical, K, you've got a problem. Yeah, no, I haven't listened to any of his stuff because honestly, I mean, the times I have heard him, I mean, I still laugh because BXB's boy calls him Mango Boy, and that cracks me up. You know, like I said, I don't always agree with BXB's boy, but he does crack me up with his nicknames for people. And, you know, so a lot of times he's spot on about folks. And I like the whole Mango Boy. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to get online here tonight and talk about doxing. I'm so sick of hearing about doxing. Yes. Yeah, true. I would be afraid too. Like, does she do that to people in her day-to-day activities, like when she was at work, when she was working in the nursing homes and things like that? I just always wonder, you know, because my early years, my mother was a geriatrics nurse, so I grew up really around the nursing home and the geriatrics, and you know, I went on to be a nurse's aide, then a medication aide, and I kept going to school. I mean, I have a freaking MBA now, but when I was a lot younger, I thought I was going to be a nurse. My undergrad is prereqs for nursing, and so when she would talk about, you know, what she did, she was a physical therapist aide. She was not a physical therapist. Labia boy, yes, the Claire cracks me up too when he talks about him. He does the best freaking impersonation of labia boy. It cracks me up. He's hilarious. It was so great to chat with you too, and I may come back on again next weekend. I have work all week, so but yeah, it's great to chat with you. Thank you for coming by. Cool story. You're a cool story. You're a cool person. So maybe we'll get to see each other soon. Anyway, I'm going to sign off here in a few minutes. But yeah, she probably did. But she was the physical therapist aide, and in the nursing home, the physical therapist aide where I worked, and I worked in a few of them. They just helped get the elderly up and help them walk around and do some stretching exercises and do the you know, if they couldn't get up and walk, they would go in and do the range of motion with them on their legs and their arms and their feet and their hands. So they do play a crucial role, but I wondered how someone so mean could work with the geriatrics. I don't get it. So I'm hoping she was not this way to others. There. Yes. Talk to you soon, Cool Story. But anyway, this is was supposed to be about doxing. I pulled it up. Doxing is not illegal, but there are some sub things underneath quote unquote doxing, such as stalking and harassing. And remember, folks, don't be doing it to healthcare workers, such as a nurse or federal or state employees. Be very careful. You don't know who you're quote unquote doxing. Just be nice to each other. How hard is it? Now, I understand if somebody says something bad about you, you want to go say something bad about them, but leave their personal business personal. If you're trying to dig up somebody's personal business to go on the internet and put it out there, because there's some crazy people in this world, and those crazy people will go after someone. And don't think that just because you're out there doing it to someone that it can't happen to you, because it can. You need to be careful. So that's all I got for tonight, guys. I hope I come across to at least one person in this world to not put out people's personal information. So that's all I got. Until next time, be kind to one another. Bye, guys.